we would need at least an hour to talk about the potential, well, the design and the potential implications of the IRA. But at a very high level, to introduce it to those who aren't fully familiar with it, this is new legislation, again, couple of years ago, that allows CMS for the first time to negotiate prices with manufacturers for a fairly limited number of drugs each year, but that's cumulative and it will build up. And the drugs that are eligible are high expenditure drugs for Medicare in both Part D and ultimately in 3 years, I think, Part B, hospital drugs as well, that have been on the market for several years. 9 years post approval for small molecules, and 13 years post approval for biologics. And these, I mentioned this earlier, the actual process by which CMS is conducting these evaluations, the elements that go into the negotiation process, is still a bit unknown. There are, let's see, out of the negotiation process then come maximum fair prices for the negotiated drugs. And those drugs are going to be existing in large drug classes. And the dynamics of pricing and rebates, both in the Medicare Advantage market, but also in the commercial market, are unknown. You imagine price goes down on a leading drug. What are the knock-on effects for pricing and access for the other drugs? Those are all TBD. There are also concerns regarding the impact of the drug price negotiation program on the incentives to conduct R&D for drugs that might be selected for the DPNP, say in 5 years, 10 years. So I think there going to be a pretty significant shift in incentives to invest in a particular drug class, disease state versus another. So there's a lot to say about the drug price negotiation program. We can hold that for a bit. And I should also mention a couple of the other main elements of the IRA. One are inflation rebates. This is where drugs that have been approved on the market would be required to provide a pretty substantial rebate back to CMS if the list prices for those drugs go up greater than the rate of inflation in any given year. That'll play out largely in upward pressure on launch prices over time. Third large element of the IRA is the Part D redesign. Really substantial effort to rationalize the patient participation, the patient cost sharing. The donut hole, if you're familiar with the catastrophic phase, that has been closed. Out-of-pocket maximum for CMS beneficiaries receiving prescription drugs has been capped at $2,000. And all of this is shifting somewhere around $40 billion of costs from patients and from CMS to an extent to largely payers, to the Part D plan sponsors, to a smaller extent to manufacturers. That shift of cost burden to payers is clearly going to impact access. We're already seeing proposals for deductibles to increase pretty substantially for PDP. The Part D prescription drug plans have premium increases that are pretty substantial. This is going to play out over the next couple of years, but there certainly seems to be pretty substantial unintended consequences of the IRA.